Mahalfin and welcome to Extra, everybody. I'm Jason Salas, and we are bringing you the sights, sounds, and talents of the stage. And who better to transition with that wonderful, hopefully, Joyce Torres, a hopefully designated intro for you to capture like everything that you do. I mean, you've done music, you've done plays, you've done. Pretty soon you're doing TV right now, obviously. We're on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, no, thank you for having me, Jason. It's nice to be back.
I haven't seen you in a really long time.
It's been a long time.
Where have you been?
So for the past 3 years, I've been in Los Angeles, and I'm Los Angeles based now.
Tinseltown.
Tinseltown, the town. And yeah, I went to an acting conservatory, the Stella Adler Art of Acting Studio. And then now I just kind of live there now. It's home base for the moment.
Very cool. And so now technically your title is actor/playwright. I mean, you do a whole bunch of things and everything, but that's your primary focus right now, right? Creatively.
I mean, creatively, yes. So it's kind of like in this new wave of Hollywood and YouTube and everything's on a phone. I think we've entered this wave of creating content, and being someone that's from Guam and in the middle of the Pacific, I found that I didn't really fit in any kind of box. So I had to just create my own little space. And I'm happy to find that that space has stories that I can tell and stories that people haven't heard. And that's why I'm telling the solo show that I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah, I know. I first became aware of you, and you and I first met because you were doing a play over at UOG.
Yes.
You were doing
Mother Courage.
Mother Courage, yeah.
Which is funny now.
In which you were phenomenal. I was like, she has the gift. I was like, we got to get her on Extra.
Oh, thank you. No,
I was blown away.
It's funny because when I look back at that one, it was so, not political, but Brecht is so realizing that society and theater, the theater is just a reflection of what's happening in the world, right? What's happening in the community. And for that to be the first thing I'd ever done as like an actress, as like a straight play, and then to see myself years down the road now to do the same thing in the same vein, but this time I got to curate it and kind of create and direct it myself.
So now that you've been, you've been taken away from, your home island and everything like that, you've got to maybe explore the space a little bit more, see the calibers a little bit different, people with different backgrounds, get to know yourself, I would assume, like a little bit more. Would you say you've hit your stride right now? And what's your voice at this point?
I think I'm understanding the power of my voice and the power of being specifically myself and my history and my culture and my heritage. And I think I'm learning that my true power comes from tapping into that space, the space that is specifically mine, sacred to me. And then I found that when I tap into that and I'm super specific in who I am, it gets universal. It becomes, there's a universality to it, right? It's like, I know myself well enough, and if I know myself well enough, then the people that I interact with, we can get to know each other, and it's this whole thing. But I found that my voice is very unafraid to enter that truth space, right? And to be very emotional and vulnerable. And I've learned that strength is two things. So a lot of people associate me with someone that's super, alpha female, like in your face masculine. And I've found now that I'm both. I'm masculine and feminine, and there's a strength in that. And then bringing that into my work has been really cool.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. Okay, so I would love to hear all about this one-woman show.
Yes.
Those are some of the hardest productions to do because not only are you writing all the parts, I mean, I guess it can be the hardest thing or easiest thing depending on how you look at it because, you're your own best critic and you're your own best director.
Yeah.
But also you've got to play all the parts.
Yeah, no, it's like 45, 50 minutes of just me. And Linda, one of my friends, she's like, that long monologue that you do, and it really just is a long monologue. You start talking. It's like 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Okay,
and
basically the whole thing.
That's a long time, right?
Yeah.
Doing the show. And I think, when you think about theater or films, I think at most people talk for 10, 15 seconds, if that. And then on stage, your monologues may be like 2 paragraphs. But to do a show that is just, to hold people's attention for 45 minutes by yourself on a stage, it's kind of intense. I mean, you're a news anchor and you probably do that all the time and you hold space for everyone as well.
But there's also chemistry you have to, like right now, like we're vibing off each other as opposed to if I was just there, doing a soliloquy, then basically it's all me.
It's just you,
And I was gonna say, that presents some opportunities, I would think, for you as a thespian because you determine the pacing yourself. You don't have to play off somebody else. You can kind of like react to the crowd.
Yeah, no, I 100% think that. And I think also doing a show of this nature has really helped me hone into my storytelling and who I want to be as a storyteller. And I think you know, knowing that the convention was, there were no rules that I had to really kind of follow. And then to see that this is what I wanted to say, I was like, wow, okay, I guess that's what my voice kind of looks like. And that's what my storyteller voice looks like.
Well, the one thing I took away when I watched you in Mother Courage was you're incredibly effective at the dramatic parts. I mean, like you could really feel that, and I was like, whoa, you know, whatever emotion you were trying to convey when it came to the real serious stuff. I mean, you really nailed that in.
Oh, thank you.
But you can also really handle comedy, and that's not easy.
Yeah, I mean,
How much of this play have you got, like, you know, kind of like funny haha elements, or sarcastic, or?
It's so strange because it's such a tense subject that there are moments in the show that I put in because I realize you can't keep people down in the depths forever, right? You have to come up for air and you have to breathe. And I found that if you can get people to laugh with you, which I kind of try to do in the beginning, when it comes time to be vulnerable, they've already opened up that heart space with the laugh. That coming into the crying part, it's so easy because like laughing and crying, you know, they're very similar. The same way like nervousness and excitement are the same.
Just a release.
One has breath. It's a release. And no, I will say this show specifically is very dramatic, so a la me. But I think there are moments that are not necessarily just sad for sad's sake. I think there are moments of like crying because, oh, that makes me so happy, or oh, you know, I can relate to that level of love for someone, for a child, for a family member. And then I can also, you know, the crying isn't necessarily always sad. I think it's just kind of like recognizing yourself in a moment and be like, I've been there. I've enjoyed sitting down and just having that release, and then crying from like recognizing that. So I mean, it is sad in nature, but
like you said, I mean, it is you basically bearing your soul and telling your story in your own words.
Yeah, and telling her story,
That's amazing.
I'm so it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like only, you know, I'm happy when I did it. I didn't understand the scope and the magnitude of it, because when I originally did it, it was just an assignment. And then now to see where it went and where it's continuing to go, I think I'm realizing just how powerful being on stage can be, and how powerful being really intentional in your content can be.
Okay, I can hear everybody on Facebook yelling at me like right now. They're like, okay, where can I see this, and when can I watch Joyce, you know, take over the stage and everything? So where and when?
Yes, so the University of Guam, it's this weekend, Friday and Saturday, August 9th and 10th. Doors open at 7 p.m. and it's roughly an hour show. And at the end, I do a Q&A. So if people have any questions, they can kind of ask away and share in what we experienced together.
Okay, and just for all those, you know, men and women out there who want to like properly give you your props and everything, what color roses do you like, so people can people can throw those on the stage?
That's so funny. Yellow roses. Why
Yellow
not?
roses.
I have no idea what they mean. I love red roses, but yellow roses are
Yellow
great
is
too.
a symbol is a color for friendship.
What?
Yeah.
There we go.
And support, and that's good.
There we go.
And we're happy to have you
Yellow
as our friend.
Thank you so much,
All right.
Jason.
You're an immense talent. We're really happy to know you. So good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, break a leg.
Thank you.
All right, and please stay tuned. Don't break a leg out there. Just stay tuned, because we're back after this.